Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing really well. I'm super excited to once again have Neil with me. Welcome again.
Hey, thank you, Daniel. How you doing?
I'm doing really great. And, first of all, I just want to share very briefly, like how this particular episode came to be. It was a little, it was kind of like one of those things like there's science in the universe, right? Like I've been thinking about doing an open class with you for the longest time. And then yesterday there was someone who commented, I think his name was Jonathan, who said like, oh my gosh, the episode with you talking Insomnia number 45, like that was the best on this channel ever. It was so amazing. And he said, you have to bring Neil back. And I was like, this is it. Like I messaged you yesterday and you happen to have time today. So here we are. I think it was super nice.
Yeah, I'm here. Actually, it was my first. I think we made a few episodes, and the first one I talked about my insomnia, and it was the first one that I think was almost 2,000 people, 2,000 views till now. So yeah, it was amazing. I watched it after he made a comment. I watched it once again after 9 months, I think. I don't even know how he got 9 months. Wow, he really made a real research on the channel, and I loved it. We talked about scared hoops, I think. Phil
Yeah.
Jackson
Yeah. But that wasn't,
quotes.
was that one
Yeah,
or was it? Oh, that
yeah.
was that one. It
Actually,
wasn't the other one.
we wanted to have an episode talking about Phil Jackson and mindfulness, and then I went with my story, and it was like a 1 hour episode talking about mindfulness and sleep and everything all together, and it was great.
That
Loved
was a
it.
great one.
Yeah.
And so yeah, today we have two messages from the community that we'll look at. But before, how are things on your end, Neil? A lot of updates.
Yeah, well, just quit my job, working in the capital market and so on as a broker for a long, long time after 8, maybe 9 years. And I decided to go to other areas. Some of them we talked of, maybe, writing an autobiography, an idea that came up on my story. Since, I didn't know that my story was so powerful until we went online. And then I saw so many comments and people that identify with the story. And, if you can do some, spread some love and good in the world. So this is what we're here for. And we talked about maybe becoming a coach right now, like a minute ago. So just went into a new bar. So, trying to do some changes, work with people, have fun, enjoy my life at the age of 40, trying to take some other turns and try to enjoy life more, be find the things that I feel more that are exact for me, that I feel home.
So was that the thing? Was it kind of like you've been working in capital markets for a while and you felt like this, I can do this job, but it isn't quite like the thing I'm kind of passionate about or like longing to do? Was that made the change? Or
Well, I actually I love do. I mean, it wasn't like I suffered. I liked it. I did it for years, and I read a lot of things about economy, and I live it. But the thing is that at a certain point, it's not like I didn't get tired of it because I can still do that, but I wanted some changes. We as people, we develop all the time to a lot of areas, and we have one life, and I want in this life to try and do other things and go into other areas that I didn't do before and try to experience more. And I think I got to a certain point in my life. I don't know if it's the age or I don't even know. I don't mean it, it's like sleep. I don't even want to research it. I just want to do what feels good. If it feels good, it is what it is. You don't even have to question it. Just do it.
right,
And if not, you can try. And if not, you can do other things. We have one life. Why not live it
100%,
the way you want?
100%. And what's the word I'm looking for? You comment on something in a kind of positive way. You give someone. I can't find the word right now, but I said like you're looking looking really good with a beard, and you lost some weight too.
Thank
So
you.
some changes there as
Yeah.
well.
Well, yeah. Part of the changes, yeah,
Right.
physically as well.
Wonderful. Well, let's get into it here, and we are live here. So if anyone joins live, they can ask questions live too. But this said, let me share the stream, and I'll read this first message from Dominique. Dominic says, "Hi, Coach Daniel. Many thanks for your great channel wisdom. My insomnia began 8 months ago after a health scare. I went through 5 days and nights straight without any sleep, and that's where my chronic insomnia began. The struggle was so bad initially that I almost took my own life, as sleeplessness proved to be unbearable for me at that point. I was put on 50 milligrams of zopiclone, which would, on a good night, give me 2 to 3 hours of sleep, and some nights I would not get any sleep at all. I bought your wonderful book, Set It and Forget It, and have stopped taking sleep medications the last 2 months, as I now get 2 to 3 hours of sleep without tablets, which is at least something positive. My problem now is I'm totally exhausted during the day, barely functioning as I'm not getting enough sleep. I'm experiencing internal head tremors, cold, pale extremities, brain fog, which is really making me struggle. Are these symptoms typical of insomnia? Following the advice in your book, I have stopped monitoring sleep and I've accepted the situation. However, I seem to be stuck with little sleep as I wake up fully after, I guess, 2 to 3 hours, and I'm unable to return to sleep. This is taking its toll on me, and I feel derealization, and it's proving to be the most challenging situation in my life. I understand that hyperarousal is at play here and that the brain is doing its job to keep me safe. Any advice would be greatly appreciated in order to get past this situation. Do you think this is a speed bump? Is there something else going on? Thank you so much for your insights. Kind regards from Ireland. This was Dominic. Neil, when you hear this message, what are your immediate thoughts?
All right. First of all, I think Sophia is her name, right? I think
No, this
Sophia.
is the first one. This is Dominic.
Dominic. I'm sorry. I saw your name. Okay, Dominic. Okay, sorry, Dominic. First of all, I think that Dominic is on the right path. Let's start, because since she read the books and now she understands, there's, for me, what happened with me, that I had insomnia, and then I found your channel, and then it was the first time I talked about it on my first video, but it was the first time that I saw a whole other approach to insomnia. And she's the fact that she stopped use sleeping pills, because we know that sleeping pills will not make you sleep. You do other things in order for you maybe to calm down, and then eventually you can sleep. But I think that, again, we talked about it on the first episode. It's all about the brain. The brain has to, you have to practice the brain. The brain doesn't know that right now you're educated. From now on you're gonna sleep. No, it takes time. It's a process. It's not something that happens overnight, and it takes time because we have automatics. Okay, I guess she still thinks about sleep. She wrote a whole email, so she thinks about sleep all the time. I guess that after 2 or 3 hours, Dominique, when you wake up, I don't know if you check the time or not, but it's still on your mind, right? What is it? Is it night right now? Is it morning? I woke up. As long as you dwell on it and think about it. And I know it's not, the second part is, a lot of people ask, okay, so how can I not think about it if I have a problem? Generally, I would say that I want to say something generally and then go specific. And generally, I would say that sleep, in order for sleep to happen, it's not, in order for sleep to happen, you have to be calm. Now, if you're trying to sleep or thinking about sleep or doing things, taking pills, if you involve in the process of sleeping, sleep will get away, because, think about it. In order to sleep, you have to be calm. If you're not calm and you do other things and, you feel a lot of tension or hyperarousal and so on, sleep won't happen. And it's very naturally that sleep won't happen as well as you deal with it so much. I think that the solution, first of all, the fact that you read Daniel's books, I think it was Set It and Forget It, and right, which I read the book, and amazing book, really written so it's so easy reading, and so with the all the pictures and so on, loved it. But I think that in order to apply it, we have to understand that we have automatics on our mind, like the thoughts that we had a week. The fact that you read the book today doesn't mean that everything is gonna change right now. I think that it takes time, and I would recommend, you do other things, and I guess you're tired because you sleep 2-3 hours a night. First of all, for someone that I didn't sleep for 2 decades, I mean, I slept, but I had like a few days that I was up, and I talked about it on my previous video as a soldier and so on. And it was very, very hard. I think that what is harder is the thinking about the fact that you didn't sleep at night rather than the fact that you are tired, because I think it's not the tiredness, but the fatigue that is taking place here. You are thinking about the fact that you didn't sleep last night, and you're not living what is taking place right now, right? You're doing whatever you do at your job or whatever, you know, I don't know, but I would say be more engaged, try to be more engaged and more busy in what you do. And sleep, it's not that sleep will fix itself, but sleep will happen when you practice your brain to not think about sleep and do other things, be engaged in other things that make you feel good. And eventually, I don't know, for how long did you say that? In some a few months?
This was, and I, by the way, I didn't want to interrupt before, but I think this is a he. Dominic is a he, but he
As
has.
a he, I'm sorry.
It doesn't
Okay,
matter.
I'm sorry.
I think, you know, I think 8 months. It's been 8 months, but I
He
don't
has it
know
for
if
eight.
Dominic's had, yeah.
Okay, 8 months. Okay, so it makes sense. You know, after 8 months, you're not gonna have like after 1 week you read a book and that's it. No, you know, thoughts. Think about it. We think it's like a circle. It's in a loop. Thoughts will always pop up again and again. Again, the thing is how you react to these thoughts. Okay, how your reaction, how you respond. You know, if a thought is coming, and I learned it from mindfulness and meditation. If there's a thought, and you can just look at it and understand that it's a thought, it's not you, it's a thought, it's, you know, lines in your head, it's just something that you like you read something, right? Let's say you read a book, you're not really in the story, right? You're not really in the story, but your imagination is working. It's the same thing. I didn't sleep last night, but right now it's 2 o'clock, it's 2 p.m, you're doing something else. Do whatever you do, and I think that at a certain point, if you just be engaged in other things and feel good about yourself on your everyday, eventually sleep will just happen when you will be calm. So this is
Yeah.
generally.
No, 100%. It's so helpful, Neil. And you know, I want to just, you know, what I reading this message from Dominic, what I saw in my mind reading this was this very common loop, which is like I'm sleeping very little, and I'm tired, exhausted, and thinking about sleep all the time. And the interpretation in the brain, it becomes somehow like I just have to sleep more so I don't feel this exhausted and tired, etc. And then,
Right.
of course, that puts pressure on you to sleep more. Then you sleep less, and then you continue to think about it. And so, question is often like, how do I get out of this kind of loop, this situation? And it's, I think, what you said is the way, which is seeing that it is not a direct like I slept 3 hours, therefore I'm so tired, but rather it is I slept 3 hours and I'm thinking about the fact that I sleep hours. I'm
Exactly.
analyzing it. I'm wondering why. I'm trying to fix it. That's what makes you. That's what's
Right.
the bulk of the tiredness, fatigue, etc. comes from that. And when we see that, to me, it's an invitation to sort of like, yes, to just be more engaged in what you're doing, like in this moment, not the, you know, these in this moment, and also the self-kindness part, like being like, when
Exactly.
you criticize them, why didn't I sleep? What's happening? What's going on? You'd be like,
So true. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. There's one section in your book that is talking about that you compare sleep to dating. You know, and if you like, you know, if you want someone, don't be so enthusiastic about it. The same thing with sleep. If you're gonna really want sleep, sleep won't be there. You it's like you need give sleep a space to come in and catch you, right? You have to. It's not that I don't know if the have to is the you don't have to do anything, but sleep has to come to you. You cannot. We said once you cannot jump to sleep or you
Yes.
fall asleep and so remember. So you know, sleep is something that happens. It's not something that you achieve, right? It's not an achievement. You cannot achieve sleep. If you ask someone that never experienced insomnia in his life, how do you fall asleep? It's I don't know. I don't know. Watch TV, fall asleep. He doesn't think about it. This is why he sleeps. And I know it's easy to say because people that I was thinking about it all day. I thought about nothing but sleep. Okay, nothing. I mean, I had once in a while. And if you think about it, Dominique, once in a while, if you have think about it during the day, I guess you have some moments that you're not thinking about sleep, that you're doing other things that you like. In these moments, all of a sudden you feel good. All of a sudden you feel good even though you didn't sleep. And then the minute after you think about the fact that you didn't sleep last night, and then you feel bad again and fatigue and what you call tired and exhausted and so on. So if you can try to have just for the beginning more moments where you think about other things than sleep. Don't try to sleep more. Okay, let's say the insomnia is there. Forget it. What I'm saying, try to have more moments every day, more moments where your mind is in other places, where you're more engaged in what you do, day by day. And what will happen finally, you'll have 1 or 2 nights that you will sleep good, and hopefully it's gonna be less and less thinking about sleep. And I think this is the process that your brain should be trained to go through.
100% agree, Neil. That was so well said. And I saw we had some live comments. Oh, Dominique is live with us. That's amazing.
Nice.
Hi, just joined now. Thanks so much for your helpful advice. That's amazing. So happy.
Welcome. Nice.
And Steven says, I know all of this. Now what? I think this is such an important place to be in, which is like, you understand everything. You have complete understanding, but it doesn't translate into any change. What are your thoughts when you hear this, Neil?
Been there. I've been there. I actually been there, because when I found your channel for the first time, and I saw you and then Martin Reed, and then started, I didn't even know anything about, forget your method. I'm saying even CBTI, I didn't know it exists. And I think that understanding that insomnia is not a sleeping problem, but an anxiety problem, can be very, very helpful, because then you look at it in other glasses. You look at it as anxiety glasses, and not as a sleeping problem. Okay, and if you understand it because if the anxiety, let me ask you this, Stefan, if you would, let's say I give you a pill right now that you forget that you ever had insomnia. You cannot, you have no more memory of insomnia or any other memory. For this case, you don't have any other memory. Would you fall asleep? Of course the answer is yes, because our body, he knows how to do it naturally, everyone. And the thing is that because it happened to you, you still think about it. So I think that first you made the first and most important stage, which is the education, which is the understanding of what makes you stay awake at night. And I think that the second thing that follows it is patient. You need a lot of patience in this process, because it's not overnight, and you just have to follow the things that you know. And with time, when your brain, because there is a dissonance, there's a distance between what you understand and how your brain works, because your brain works still on the automatics that you had before. The fact that you're educated right now, your brain has to be trained. It's like, I started to play, I'm playing guitar for many years, and I started to play the drums for the past year. So I brought a whole drum set, and a good friend of mine is teaching me. And, a lot of things, I started with the basics, and now it's getting more complicated, because you're trying to do a lot of things and stay in the beat and so on. And he told me this, he said, listen, he said, I know that you have a musical, you can hear, you can do, I'm saying, listen, forget the sticks, let me do it with my mouth. He said, perfect. The thing is that you have to train your brain to do these actions. And then finally you'll be able to play it. So you have to do it one more time, one more, and every time you'll get better. Now with sleep, I know that it's not the same, because there's nothing to practice, but training your brain that first, nothing, when it comes to health, nothing bad will happen to you. 2 decades, I'm telling you, I didn't sleep for 4 or 5 nights in a row. And the fact that you're not alone, we a lot of people, I think Daniel know the numbers, maybe 20% out of the people in the world suffer from insomnia, comes and goes. The difference is that people that cannot, we all have sleep disorders because of certain reasons. The people that have insomnia, they had something happen in their life, they didn't sleep for 1-2 nights, and then they started to think about why they don't sleep, and then sleep became a problem. This is how it usually works. And it's classic. I heard on this channel and in life so many insomnia stories. It's so funny, because everybody thinks they're especially unique, and it all sounds the same. It all sounds, if you go deeper into into the details, it all sounds the same. What I think is just training your brain, and a lot of compassion. Daniel said it, and I'll repeat it: a lot of compassion. Don't be hard on yourself. Be soft, because anxiety jumps in when you fight it. Don't fight it. I think on one of the episodes they just said, you know what, if insomnia wins, just give up. Give up. You know, a lot of people tell me I cannot sleep all night, and then 5 o'clock in the morning, 2 hours before I have to be up, I'm falling asleep. How come? Well, we call surrender sleep, that's the term, right? Because you're not trying to sleep. You're very tired, you're not trying to sleep, you gave up, and then you fall asleep. Sleeping is about giving up. You don't have to do anything, and if you cannot fall asleep, go do other things. You don't have to be, um, as long as you try more, sleep will get away. So maybe I
Absolutely.
mix a lot of things, but that's like, yeah.
No, it's kind of remarkable actually how, from just a sentence, I know all of this. Now what? You can read, you can understand so much from just one sentence, and you can teach a lot on it, which you did. And the only thing I want to just emphasize is what we both said, is that, these questions will come, Stephen, when you're like, I know everything. Why can't I make this happen? What's wrong with me? Why isn't this working? I don't even think what's wrong. And it seems like that is simply just kind of like, it can seem like those are just like questions that will lead you to or somewhere, but those are actually expressions of self-criticism. They are saying like, what's wrong with me? It's thinking that there's something wrong with you, that's broken, that's not fixed. It is some kind of self-criticism there. And when you turn that into like seeing like, my favorite example is like, imagine how your grandfather would talk to you if you said this. Would your grandfather say, what's wrong with you? Why can't you make? Of course not. It would be like, it's all right. It'll happen. Take it easy. Be kind to yourself. They offer you something nice, give you a hug. If you can be that person for yourself, oh my gosh, things will go so much easier, I think.
Yep.
Stephen, thanks for being here, Stephen. And Sammy said, I can't sleep at all. I was fine till last year, stuck in bed. I'm sorry to hear this, Sammy, of course. And I think, if we go back to Stevens, I know all of this now. What? I think Sammy is in a real different place,
Exactly.
right? To me,
before stage one.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, by the way, Steven says, thanks, Neil. That's nice.
Welcome.
So to Sammy, I would just say, just start with the playlist, start learning, and then you have that foundation. All right, let's look at our other message, which is from now Sophia. Let's read this. Hi, Coach Daniel and other coaches, and Neil, of course. I wrote in last spring when I was having trouble staying asleep. That was the first time I was experiencing sleep problems. I was able to fall asleep, but not stay asleep. I would wake up after a few hours of being asleep and would not be able to fall back asleep for a few hours. Your advice really helped me. Stop tracking, don't look at the clock, let go of outcomes, etc. Very quickly, my sleep improved, and I was sleeping like before. I was amazed how easy it was, and I had my sleep confidence back. Didn't even think about sleep. However, throughout last summer, I mostly slept well, except when I had a big day or vacation. But I always blew it off because I knew sleep would return back to me. I moved away to my university this past August, and my sleep has been yo-yoing. For the most part, I sleep fine, but I'll go through these spells where my insomnia is back like before. It's weird because it feels like my sleep confidence is back and I'll be fine for a few weeks. Then I'll have a thought like, but what if I don't sleep tonight? These thoughts trigger my anxiety, and then I'll end up not sleeping as well. I've noticed through these speed bumps that I can control my anxiety and thoughts, but not all the time. Sometimes my anxiety gets the better of me, and when it does, I don't end up sleeping as well. If I'm up for a while in the middle of the night, sometimes I'll watch your videos, and it'll help me fall back asleep, but it's frustrating because I thought I moved past this stage. For a while, I wasn't experiencing any insomnia, and I thought it was a brief thing of the past. It's frustrating when I know the next day I have a lot of assignments or a big test, and my anxiety ends up getting in the way of my sleep. I've been educating myself with your wonderful videos the past couple of months, but clearly I'm still missing something. I wish my sleep was stable like before. Let me know what you think. Thank you, and love this channel. We love you too, Sophia. We love that you're here and sharing. And yeah, lots of things here that we could talk about. But Neil, immediate thoughts on this?
The fight is still on. The struggle is because it's not like, it sounds like you went through some kind of a process and now you feel like let's say, okay, maybe there are 3 stages in what we say. There's stage 1 is the education, stage 2 is applying it and training your brain, what you already did. And what happened is when you have this, what you call speed bumps, you make it grow in your mind because you make it bigger than it is, and then you cannot sleep for a string of nights or whatever. And first of all, if you have an exam or something in in your university, it's very, very natural that sleep will be disrupted. It happened to everyone. You have to thank yourself for this happening, because if you have a big exam tomorrow and you're gonna sleep, I don't know, straight through the night without any interruption, it's not normal. Okay, you're supposed to be. This is our reaction. You're supposed to be stressed about it. And maybe if you practice a lot of mindfulness, you can understand that the test is tomorrow, and right now there's nothing happening. But it's a whole other issue that we can have an episode talking only about mindfulness. But it's very natural, as long as your mind is in tomorrow, thinking about what you should do, that your sleep will be disrupted. And adding this, it sounds, first of all, it sounds like you're on the right way. I mean, you back to sleep, and still, I think if you pay, or not pay less attention, but put less weight on these nights that you don't sleep, and not even, don't celebrate the nights that you do sleep. What I'm saying is, try to reduce them both. Not to celebrate the night that you sleep and not feel bad about nights that you don't sleep, but try to make it a non-issue in your life. You didn't sleep all night, you slept for 2 hours, 2 nights, whatever, you're still alive. You just wrote out, everything's fine, you're still in the university, you're still doing your things, nothing happened. Maybe you were tired yesterday, 2 days ago, it's over. Okay, just don't pay attention to it. Once I said it's like a playground bully in school. If he bothers you all the time and you react, he's gonna call his friends, and school will be a nightmare. But if you're not gonna pay attention to him, he's gonna see that whatever he wants to do, to bother you or so, doesn't get any response from you. And the same thing is with anxiety, because the fact that we don't sleep is anxiety. The anxiety craves on attention, and if you're gonna just let it, say, okay, I know that you're here, I hear you, I know that you're not gonna let me sleep, so just go do other things, don't pay attention to it. And when you just turn your back to anxiety doesn't have any power over you. It's like the air is getting out of the balloon, and I think it will be better. So, but anyway,
100%, Neil. And I just wrote down some things. There were kind of a couple things I didn't want to miss out on commenting on. And the first one was, Sophia said something like, I had, up until this point, I did have some trouble sleeping before kind of a big event, but I sort of dismissed it and I kind of blew it off. But what I sense here is that Sophia is almost like criticizing herself for blowing it off. And like,
exactly.
I should have nipped it in the bud. I should have done something before about it. When in reality, I think blowing it off was kind of the right thing to do, right? Like,
right.
Not necessarily like ignoring it, but being like, yeah, that happened and that's okay, right? And the difference now is that now she's not blowing it off, right? And now she's like, but now there is a problem. So in a way, I thought that was interesting. What do you think, Neil?
That she didn't blow it up and she didn't not blow it up. It's like the fact that you think that you have any control over it is the problem. Okay, just when you understand that when you lose control, this is, in general in life, the best thing happens when you lose control. You think about it. You cannot control anything, right? The weather, whatever. You make plans, and all of a sudden, life takes you in all other place. I would say be more acceptable. More accepting. Try to accept things as they are and see where it fits you and how you feel about it. Not trying to control. You didn't blow anything up, and you did not blow anything up.
Yeah,
so
100%. And like you were just on this topic that I have to like read this phrase again, because it was exactly what we're talking about. After this, here, no. Where is it? Here it is. I've noticed through these speed bumps that I can control my anxiety and thoughts, but not all the time, right?
There you go.
There is something there that I think is really interesting. But the way, okay, let me share my interpretation of this, and I'll let you go after that, Neil. My interpretation of this, like, I think it's an illusion. It's an illusion that you can control your anxiety sometimes,
Exactly.
right? But in
Exactly.
reality, what happens is sometimes you're anxious and you're like, it's okay to be anxious, and then it goes away. So you let go. You didn't try to control it, and then it kind of disappeared. And then it
Exactly.
seems in the mind like, oh, sometimes I can control it. But in reality, that's a total illusion, right?
You never have control over sleep. You never. It just happens. It happens when you're not trying to control or not control it. When you just ignore it, it will happen. As long as you, I think this is a generic answer to everyone. It's as long as you think about how can I not think about sleep. This is all other issue that we can talk about it, and we talked about it a lot. But in general, when you reach a point that it's not, you cannot control your sleep, you cannot make yourself sleep, you cannot make yourself fall asleep. It doesn't, it has no, and if you try more, you will sleep less, and that's it. Just just let it go. You going, she's in university, right?
University, yep.
Well, I guess you have so many other things to deal with. Just go and do them. Forget about sleep. It will happen. If you don't sleep, then don't sleep. So what,
Yeah, 100%. And you can come out, you can get away with saying that. I can't really do that, but you can get away with that because you lived it.
I can say whatever I want. Yeah. Well, the thing is that what I'm trying to say, that if you're gonna say, okay, if I sleep, whatever, if I don't sleep, whatever, then you will sleep. That's what I'm trying to say,
Yeah,
because it's kind of
absolutely.
paradoxal, because you trying to control or not control and think about it, this whole process will not let you sleep, because you're going into bed with a lot of tension, hyperarousal, thinking, what should I do, what should I not do, and so on. Just do other things, and sleep is something that you have to ignore for that to happen. You just have to ignore insomnia. I know it's hard, but ignore insomnia. And how do you do that? You do it by, think about your brain, that you have, like, I said it before, but I say it again. Let's say you sit in a train station, and there's one train. Our thoughts, you can have only one thought at a time. Of course, after a second you can have another thought, but one thought at a time. It's like a train station. There is one train in the station, no other trains can come in, and you just sit and look at this train. Now, if you're gonna have these thoughts and just go, looking at these thoughts all the time, and thinking about them, nothing will change. What you have to do is just let go and change the train, bring another train. That is, one train is sleep. I guess you have so many other things in your beautiful life that you can think of, because thoughts create emotions. So if you think positive about other things, and how do you do that? I guess you have things in life that you like to do, just go do them. Go do them at 3 o'clock in the morning. Listen, right now I'm in Israel. The time is 8:30 p.m. I just said that, Daniel, before. After I'm done here, I'm gonna go out maybe till 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Maybe I won't sleep till tomorrow evening. Maybe I will. I don't care. It's not even an issue. Maybe I'll go back, sleep for 2 hours. Maybe it's gonna be so excited where I'm going that I won't be able to sleep. So what? So I'll sleep the day after or 2 days after. So I'll be tired. Why are you so afraid of being tired? Sit in front of the TV, read a book. If you fall asleep, you fall asleep. If you don't, you don't. Think about it like, people that have issues with eating, for example, right? When they have issues, they think about it a lot. If they stop thinking about it, maybe they won't have issues, and eating will be easier. I don't know, because I didn't have it. But with sleep, I can tell you that as much as you deal with it, you will sleep less. When you not deal with it, maybe you'll sleep less, but you wouldn't care. That's the thing. You don't want to care about it. So that's,
which actually segues so nicely to kind of the next thing from this message I want to talk about, which is confidence. But before we go to confidence, just
right.
super briefly, going back to kind of my point about the illusion that you had control. When you see that it's an illusion that you had control, the reason that's so helpful is that when you think that, oh, I had control for a while, then you're going to be trying to get back that control, which keeps
Right.
you in the loop. So seeing like, actually,
Right.
I slept because there was no control. That leads to much more peace. But now, the other question from that we hear, or phrase and things we hear from Sophia, is the confidence part. She said, I had confidence, but I still feel confident, but this still happens to me. Like, how about you, Neil? Like, how's your sleep confidence? Or
I'll tell you,
or rather, what do you think of that idea of sleep confidence, rather?
No, I can talk about myself in this context. Because sometimes I'm going to bed because I don't know, I have to be up in the morning and do stuff. And right now I'm not working, but I have to take my daughter to the kindergarten and so on. So I have to be up at a certain time. And let's say I'm going to bed and I have like 7 hours to sleep or whatever. I'm not even counting anymore, but I'm just saying around. Go to sleep at 1 o'clock. I have to be up at 8, and closing my eyes, and I see that nothing happened. Back in the days, what I did is, but I have to sleep. I don't have a lot of time to sleep, and so on and so on. And then I started to lose my confidence being in bed trying to sleep. Nowadays, now I know before, let's say, the first stage, I have to get out of bed, do other things. Now I can even stay in bed and enjoy it. I can do other stuff, and you know what? It's even better than get off bed if you can do that, because then you train your brain that your bed is a very. Actually, I thought to do this whole episode from bed. Anyhow, it could be funny. You train your brain that 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 your bed is a calm place, even if you don't sleep, which can really help you with your sleep, because we don't have control, but we have. It's like you can train your brain even though you don't have control. I'm trying to, by action, by doing things, by putting your mind in a specific place, places that are much better for you. And sleep back to sleep confidence. Sleep confidence, of course, builds when you sleep. When you start sleep night after night, and then you say, "Oh, I have my confidence that I can go back to sleep," and then one night you don't sleep. But how come if you sleep 6 nights in a row, 7 nights in a row, and then you don't sleep one night? Why do we lose our confidence? We talked about it in another episode, actually in my first episode, that we said that our brain is here to find solutions. And if you have something that, if everything's good, it's not the brain's job. It's not going to do anything. But if you have one bad night, your brain goes like, right now, okay, there is a problem. Now, there is a problem because you train your brain that not sleeping is a problem. Okay, if you can train your brain by being engaged in other things, that not sleeping is not a problem, and you will just ignore it and just go by your day. First, you will do it technically. It's going to be hard, but you have to just go. Like, I don't know. I heard from someone that was depressed, suffer from depression, that his friend just took him out all the time, and he just tried to have fun all the time, even though he was depressed everywhere. And then with time, his brain was trained, even though he said, listen, I'm just depressed, I just feel it. It's all about chemicals in our brain. And he was trained, and then he built his confidence about life. Same thing with sleep, same thing with sleep, because confidence is in everything. And if you don't have confidence to sleep, is because you give it you put a lot of weight on sleep, and you shouldn't, because you shouldn't, because if you won't sleep, nothing bad will happen. You'll just be tired for 1-2 days. That's it.
Absolutely. And another way of, I think, saying something very similar is that I think it's helpful to be confident that there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. There's nothing strange going on. Having the confidence, that's helpful. On the other hand, sometimes we can have this idea that, oh, people who sleep well, they do that because they're so confident that they can make themselves sleep. They have that confidence that they can achieve it. That's not real. That's not true at all. There's no such thing. If you ask somebody who sleeps well, like, how confident are you that you will sleep well? They'll be like, what are you talking about? There is no relationship to sleep whatsoever. So I think, again, that's helpful, because if you're trying to obtain that type of confidence that you can make yourself sleep, that is another loop that is not helpful.
Right. I think that just wanted to add, if because of what you said, if you ask someone that sleeps well, what do you do in order to sleep? It's like ask someone that walks, how do you walk? I don't think about it, so.
That's true. How do you walk? Yeah, interesting.
What do you do to walk? I don't know. Yeah, just walk. So
exactly. This took me to this analogy of, what if you really like had a stroke or something and you can't walk and you have to learn how to walk again? Then
exactly. Then I think that the difference between, I'd say, walk and sleep is, in order to walk, you control it. And in order to sleep, you have to lose control.
Exactly.
You know, there's a difference because sleep comes when you lose control, not when you control, and all other areas in your life, except for one more thing, that is sexual. But all you know, just I think that only sleep and orgasms come from losing control. All the rest is just you control it. You just do it.
Right.
So.
Absolutely. All right. Let's go to next one here. Before we have to add a PG rating here. No, I'm just kidding. So Sophia illustrates this thing that I've been. It's funny how things happen. Or actually, now that I think about it, I thought that two things happened just coincidentally at the same time, but now I'm realizing it's probably me noticing it more. But anyway, it is this one. I've had several people ask me or tell me that they're in this situation where, generally speaking, when there's a typical day, nothing going on, I actually have no problem sleeping anymore. But when there is an event, an occasion, a thing happening, then I still have trouble sleeping. And I call this scenario like the final hurdle, because that's how many people describe it. It's like, I just have this final hurdle. How do I deal with this final hurdle? And this is sort of where Sophia is at. Like, generally, she actually sleeps okay, but she has this final hurdle, like, I just can't sleep well when there is an event coming. And, you brought up one big thing here, which is to say that everyone has some trouble sleeping before.
Yeah, accepted.
Life, right?
Yeah.
But I think there's this another point that I'm working on trying to make about this kind of final hurdle situation, which is that it can seem like when you're at this kind of final hurdle that, oh, I've jumped over every single hurdle and now I have this final jump. And how can I do this final jump now? What's the trick I need for this final jump? But in reality, it is not that at all. It is like you got to where you are now by kind of like not doing anything, and those hurdles in the past, they just melted away, and it's kind of the same thing now, although it feels
you
like
have to do the same things like you did with the other jumps, which is nothing.
Exactly.
It's so funny that we can talk about hours and at the end it's going to be nothing, but there is no final job. Just accept it. If you cannot sleep a certain night, then you won't sleep a certain night. If you're going to accept it, you will sleep in these nights. I know it sounds like paradoxal, but if you're going to accept the fact that once a week, once in 2 weeks, when you have a big event, you won't be able to sleep and you're going to accept it, it's surrendering. It's like surrender sleep a whole night. And then you will be able to sleep, or not able. Then you will sleep because you will accept the fact that you won't sleep. And in general, if you accept the fact that you won't sleep every night and it's not, you don't have any control over it and it's not up to you, sleep will happen more easily.
Yeah, which is kind of that's the ultimate thing, right? That's like when you have like fully accepted that there's nothing in your life that you can control at all, then you have so much peace in your life.
You can take
right?
it to so many areas. I think through Insomnia, I learned so much about life. I think for me, Insomnia is a gift. It was a gift. I suffered so much, but right now it's a gift because I learned so much and I apply it to so many other areas in my life. So, yeah.
Amazing. Here, let's look at these some live comments here that came in. Daniel says, "Good night, dear Daniel. It's all about compassion, boldness, as I experienced. To be brave enough to face weeks of no sleep, and when we face that, we're still alive and we didn't die. We start to trust. Very important to be thankful for everything every day, morning. Then it just happens like that. Beautiful. I have
there are two things that people that don't sleep are afraid of. One is their health, and I'm telling you, 2 decades, nothing will happen to you. It's not going to harm your health. Number two, you won't be able to function tomorrow. And guys, you're still writing, your brain is still working, everything's fine. So.
Good point. Let's see. And okay, here's another one. Play around goalie. Love that one. So true. Thank you, Neil. Good to see Neil back on the channel. His episodes have been so helpful to me, Jake says. How does that feel when you hear that, Jake?
Maybe like I should do it more. I don't know. For me to spread, light in the world and do whatever, not only in this area, but in every single thing that I do, it's just, it's like in the car, what you call it, the thing that gives the power in the car. I don't have the word in English. Not the engine. The engine is not the electricity comes from
the battery.
The lights, the battery. Exactly, the battery. Yes, the battery. the thing with the battery, it's like when you do good, you feel good. It's like, it's like in the loop. With when the battery is off, then nothing. I don't know. It's like a circle of electricity. So if I'm doing good, I'm getting these comments, and I feel
Let's come
so
back again.
thankful that I can help, and
Oh my gosh. We have something more here, but I think I just want to say, there's so many nice comments here. Donald loves this. I'm there now at the final hurdle. Slept so well for a long time, but had some stress at work. And I think this came in handy for him. And we have a great discussion from MJ Sleeps, AMJ Skate Shop. So yeah, we'll conclude there. And it's been super nice having you back, Neil. And by the way, you started a bar, right?
I didn't actually. There are a few friends of mine that started, and it was a huge success. And all of a sudden, they come and they said, "We want you in." And I said, "Why? It's working so well." They said, and I see it on the comments here, so I love it. They said there's something about you that people want to join you and be. And I said, you know what? Whatever. Let me enjoy life. So yeah, actually, I'm going to the bar right now till the morning. So if you guys sleep in my if you guys live in my time zone, some of you might sleep, but if not, you're welcome. Take a flight and join me.
Wonderful. Well, thanks so much, Neil, and we'll talk
Thank
soon
you,
again.
Daniel.
All right?
Sure.
Okay. Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.